Hi, I am Sir Yeti, the scribe. These are some of my personal stories of my lucid dreams. Some are prophetic, others aren't. I will let your spirit of discernment guide you. Sit back and enjoy. Then, buy my comedy series. Links in the bio. Transformation. As I laid in deep meditation, the clarity of the breath and the stillness of air was quickly interrupted by what felt like surge of lighting throughout my body, and I was taken to an open vision. I had a vision, one unlike any dream I'd ever had before. It began in silence, stillness. Everything around me faded, and I found myself standing in a place I can only describe as between worlds, the threshold of something divine. To my right, a door appeared. It was unlike any door I'd seen before, painted navy blue, rich and deep, yet framed in radiant light. Not just light, but light that pulsed with purpose, pure white at the top and brilliant gold streaming from the corners, as if something sacred was waiting just beyond its frame. I stared at it for a moment, feeling both drawn and hesitant. My hand rose, seemingly by instinct, and I grasped the handle. As I pushed the door open, a warmth spilled over me, an invitation cloaked in energy. Then I heard it, a voice, unmistakably familiar, yet more profound than any earthly sound. It said simply, "Come in." I froze, my feet anchored to the ground. Something inside me, call it doubt, fear, reverence, held me in place. Who was speaking? Who was inviting me? Was I worthy to answer? Cautiously, I stepped forward, placing one foot across the threshold. The air on the other side felt different, charged, alive. I stopped, still unsure, and found myself asking a question I hadn't planned to ask. It rose from within me like a breath held too long. "Who is Jesus Christ?" I exclaimed emphatically, knowing that the scriptures say you must test the Spirit. The voice didn't hesitate. Calm, clear, and resolute, it replied, "Jesus was God in the flesh." In that moment, something shifted. It wasn't just an answer, it was revelation, like puzzle pieces locking into place, or a melody suddenly resolving in perfect harmony. I knew what this was. I knew where I stood. Without another word, I took a full step through the door. I was no longer tentative. I did glance behind me, perhaps instinctively. But before my eyes could fully register the place I was leaving, the voice spoke again, this time firmer. "Don't look back." There was finality in those words. Not threat, not judgment, just truth. So I obeyed. My gaze snapped forward. My body followed. I crossed through, wholly and completely. The moment I entered, I was changed. The room before me unfolded in gold and green. The floor shimmered beneath my feet like gilded sand. Towers of gold bars reached up like pillars, and streams of green, what looked like flowing emeralds, moved between them as rivers of provision. I somehow understood that these weren't just symbols of material wealth. They represented abundance, yes, but also legacy, inheritance, purpose. This was not greed, this was grace. Then I noticed myself. A crown now rested on my head, solid, gleaming, heavy with meaning. A robe had settled over my shoulders, regal, flowing, and perfectly fitted. I looked down at my hands. They were strong, sure. My stance, confident. My reflection, though I saw no mirror, revealed a man transformed. Chiseled features, fire behind the eyes, strength born not of ego, but of identity. I felt like a king, but with that feeling came something deeper, awe. The kind of humility that presses you down, not in shame, but in reverence. I removed the crown, bowed low, and whispered through tears, "God, I am not worthy." My knees hit the ground. There was no thunder, no lightning, just the voice, gentle but commanding. "Me back, get up, you are worthy. I have said so." No other words could have moved me more. I rose, not just physically, but in spirit. Something inside me lifted, broke free, and roared, not in anger, but in triumph. A primal sound tore from my throat, a declaration of life reclaimed, purpose accepted. Then silence, but not emptiness. After a pause, I heard it, the echo of my roar, joined by others, distant and powerful, like the voices of hunters returning from conquest, like generations celebrating with me in victory. I wasn't alone. I had never been alone. Tears welled in my eyes, not from sorrow, but from the sheer weight of glory. I stood fully present, humbled yet exalted, aware that this vision was more than imagery. It was instruction, a calling, a glimpse of identity not forged by status, but bestowed by grace. I was reminded that heaven's economy doesn't measure worth the way earth does, that worthiness isn't earned, it's declared. And I knew, without doubt, without hesitation, that I had just crossed into something eternal.